Ransomware has hit everywhere. In the past 3 months alone, ransomware attacks have shut down 4 public schools in Nantucket, Massachusetts, affecting 1,700 students and their families. They've exposed the health records of over 3 million patients in California, and they have shuttered all 4 of Dole's food production plants in the United States, halting food shipments to grocery stores and disrupting our already vulnerable supply chain. That's just in the last 3 months. Let's do the last 24 hours. Just yesterday, we learned that ransomware attackers stole sensitive investigative information from the U.S. Marshals Service. Now, according to FinCEN, in the first half of 2021 alone, ransomware attackers likely received $5.2 billion, that's in half a year, in payments from American businesses, hospitals, school systems, and public utilities. Before 2016, the majority of cybercrime attacks involved small-scale credit fraud and bank fraud. Ransom payments ranged from about $75 to about $750. Today, the average ransomware attacker demands about $5 million. Now, Mr. Singh, you're an expert on international economics and national security. These large-scale attacks and large ransom payouts, would they be possible without crypto?
No, Senator. I think digital assets are central to the business model of ransomware.
Okay. And in fact, do you know what proportion of ransomware attacks are paid off by crypto?
Must be close to 100%.
They're exactly right. Right at 100%. The most active ransomware gangs are affiliated with or based in Russia, North Korea, and Iran. Now, Mr. Singh, does that put our national security at risk?
Absolutely.
So, thank you. In fact, in 2021, about 3/4 of all ransomware revenues, that's now measured in billions and billions of dollars, 3/4 of it went to Russia-linked ransomware gangs. In the years since Russia invaded Ukraine, Russian criminal organizations have doubled down on using crypto to hold American businesses, American schools, American hospitals hostage. Some have even declared allegiance to Vladimir Putin, vowing, quote, to strike back at critical infrastructures of Russia's enemies. And just last week, a Russia-affiliated ransomware gang called Black Cat attacked 13 hospitals in eastern Pennsylvania. So, Mr. Singh, I have one more question for you. You helped craft the sanctions that our country imposed on Russia, and that you were just talking about with Senator Vance. You helped craft this in response to the Ukraine invasion. Is crypto allowing Russian ransomware gangs to extort American businesses and potentially evade those sanctions?
Senator, I don't believe it's allowing for the evasion of sanctions at scale, but even $1 of evasion is not something we ought to tolerate. And I think as I reflect upon the experience, one of the efforts we made in parallel was to launch the executive order on digital asset regulation, and also trying to push our government to launch a digital dollar, which I think is the single best step that we could take, because it would crowd out the ecosystem of crypto that allows national security adversaries like Russia to exploit our deficiencies, our weaknesses in terms of our critical infrastructure. And yes, I think to some extent, we won't know exactly for sure, to evade the impact of our sanctions.
So actually, let me just drill down just a little bit on this. In March 2022, FinCEN issued an advisory warning about Russian attempts to evade sanctions. The guidance said, and I'm going to quote, "Sanctioned persons, illicit actors, and their related networks or facilitators may attempt to use crypto and anonymizing tools to evade U.S. sanctions and protect their assets around the globe," end quote. And in September 2021, OFAC issued an advisory highlighting the sanctions risks associated with ransomware payments. And if I'm not mistaken, you were serving in the White House at this time. Do you agree with these statements from FinCEN and OFAC?
Yeah, I do.
Good. You know, crypto is being used to hold American businesses for ransom. It's being used to threaten American towns. It's being used to evade American sanctions. And it's being used to enrich America's adversaries. We have got to stop helping these guys by letting crypto go unchecked. Senator Roger Marshall and I are reintroducing our crypto anti-money laundering bill to protect our nation from ransomware attacks by stopping the flow of dirty money. It's something we need to do for our national security. Thank you.